Taiwan increases retirement benefits for police and public safety personnel. DPP's bid to replace legislature speaker blocked by one vote. Measles cases surge in Taiwan, new infections reported. Powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake strikes Tibet. Pope Francis names first woman to head a major Vatican office. U.S. records first human death from bird flu. Austria's far right gets chance to lead the government. Nikki Glaser praised as Golden Globes host.
Hello everyone, I'm Oceana. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, January 8th, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, Taiwan's legislature has passed a revision to the police personnel regulations, raising the retirement income replacement rate for police, firefighters, Coast Guard, immigration, and Air Force personnel to 80%. However, teacher groups urge the government to address retirement fund shortfalls and ensure fair compensation for all public servants. The DPP proposed replacing Taiwan's legislative speaker, but their motion was blocked by a one-vote margin in the Legislative Yuan's Procedure Committee. The final vote was 10-9, with the opposition parties uniting to reject the proposal. Taiwan is facing a measles outbreak with the cases rising since the late 2024. On January 7th, 4 new cases were reported, including both local and imported infections from Vietnam and India. Experts warn that the outbreak is spreading widely, urging increased vigilance. And in global news, at least 95 people were killed after a powerful earthquake struck a remote region in Tibet on Tuesday morning, with tremors felt across the Himalayas in neighboring Nepal, Bhutan, and parts of northern India. The 7.1 magnitude quake occurred at 9:05 a.m. local time at a depth of 10 kilometers and was followed by multiple aftershocks. Its epicenter was located in Tingri County, high on the Tibetan Plateau. At least 130 people were injured, and more than 1,000 houses were damaged in the Tingri County.
The energy unleashed by the tectonic movement toppled houses in remote Himalayan villages, rocked a nearby Tibetan holy city, and rattled visitors at a Mount Everest base camp. The tremors were felt as far as Kathmandu, Nepal's capital. The region near the epicenter is sparsely populated, but small villages are nestled in isolated and often hard-to-access Himalayan valleys. About 6,900 people are estimated to live in 27 villages within a 20 km radius of the epicenter. Roofs were damaged, shop fronts were shattered, and debris piled up on the streets of Lhotse County. Shigatse, the nearest major city to the epicenter and home to about 800,000 people, reported no immediate widespread damage. However, surveillance camera footage in a supermarket captured the moment the quake struck.
On Monday, Pope Francis named the first woman to head a major Vatican office, appointing Italian nun Sister Simona Brambilla as prefect of the department responsible for all the Catholic Church's religious orders. The appointment marks a major step in Francis's efforts to give women more leadership roles in governing the Church. While women have previously been named to number 2 positions in some Vatican offices, never before has a woman been appointed prefect of a dicastery or congregation within the Holy See's Curia.
Brambilla, 59, is a member of the Consolata Missionaries Religious Order and had served as the number 2 in the Religious Orders Department since last year. The historic nature of Brambilla's appointment was confirmed by Vatican media. In a sign of the appointment's novelty and its theological implications, Pope Francis simultaneously named a cardinal, Ángel Fernández Artime, a Salesian, as a co-leader or pro-prefect. However, the official appointment lists Brambilla first as prefect and Fernández second as her co-leader. This arrangement is theological and necessary because the prefect must be able to celebrate Mass and perform other sacramental functions, which are currently reserved for men.
Louisiana health authorities on Monday reported the first human death in the United States linked to bird flu, noting that the patient had underlying medical conditions and that general risks to the public remained low. The patient, aged over 65, had been hospitalized in the southern state since at least mid-December, when the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced it as the country's first serious case of human infection from the H5N1 virus.
It said the patient had contracted H5N1 after exposure to a combination of a non-commercial backyard flock and wild birds, but no further H5N1 infections or evidence of person-to-person transmission had been detected in the state. The amount of bird flu circulating among animals and humans has alarmed scientists over concerns it could mutate into a more transmissible form. Overall, the CDC has recorded 66 cases of bird flu in humans in the United States over the past year. The CDC said the genetic sequencing of the H5N1 virus from the patient was different from the version detected in many poultry flocks around the country. A small part of the virus in the patient showed genetic modifications suggesting it could have mutated inside the body to adapt to the human respiratory tract.
Herbert Kickl, the leader of the Austria's Freedom Party, received a mandate on Monday to try to form a new government. The party won Austria's September parliamentary election with 28.8% of the vote, defeating outgoing Chancellor Karl Nehammer's Austrian People's Party. However, Nehammer was given the first opportunity to form a government in October, as many parties refused to work with the Freedom Party. After efforts to form a coalition without the far right failed, they signaled that it might be open to working under Kickl.
President Alexander Van der Bellen said, after meeting Kickl for about an hour at the presidential palace on Monday, that he had tasked the Freedom Party leader with holding talks with the People's Party to form a new government. The far right and the conservatives have governed together before, but on previous occasions with the Freedom Party as the junior partner. Most recently, they ran Austria from 2017 to 2019 in a government in which Kickl served as interior minister. Coalition talks between the far right and conservatives aren't guaranteed to succeed, but there are no longer any other realistic options in the current parliament, and polls suggest that a new election soon could strengthen the Freedom Party further.
She may not have taken home the award for Best Stand-Up Comedy Performance, but otherwise, Nikki Glaser had a dream night at the Golden Globes. The first-time host of the awards show may have had to walk a fine line, but she pulled it off without a wobble. Her stand-up turned into a note-perfect performance, delivering a genuinely funny monologue along with playful skits. Glaser did so by pulling off the delicate balancing act of poking fun at some of Hollywood's biggest names without bruising any egos, while toning down her typical risque quips.
Her opening lines kept things general, making digs at weight loss drugs and casting couch culture. She announced, "Welcome to the Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night." She also assured the assembled celebrities that, "I'm not here to roast you," claiming that together they're so powerful they can do anything, except tell the country who to vote for. She then moved on to gently teasing stars like Eddie Redmayne, Martin Short, Zendaya, and Timothée Chalamet. In the end, though, Glaser's gentle roasting proved to be just what the Golden Globes needed. She recently told Deadline that she hopes to host the awards show year after year. Based on tonight's evidence, the smart move would be to give her a job for life.
The answer for yesterday was B, stabilize. The government is working hard to stabilize the economy. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. Powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake strikes Tibet. Number 1, tremor, 颤动，轻微的颤抖. The tremor from the earthquake was felt in neighboring cities. Number 2, epicenter, 战中. The epicenter of the earthquake was located just off the coast of the island. Number 3, sparsely populated, 人口稀少的. The northern regions of the country are sparsely populated due to the harsh weather conditions. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section, and the correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune into Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm your host, Oceana. I'll see you next time.